This is a cut from my Jazzolosophy record, 2015. This track is called "The Fire Watcher." It's got that Pink Panthers kind of vibe. Pink Panther. We join our program already in progress. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, the Jazz Master. Say it with me now. 1, 2, 3. Y'all know what it do. The Jazz Master. What's going on, my peoples out there? How y'all doing? It's your boy, the Jazz Master, here with the second edition, the second installment of the Jazz Chronicles. And today we're going to talk about the red pill versus blue pill analogy. A lot of you may wonder what that means. And today is going to be like a singular kind of podcast, no guest or anything. It's just going to be me talking here. But a lot of you may wonder what the red pill versus blue pill analogy means. But in the Jazz Master's definition of it, so the blue pill means people who are indoctrinated or people who are brainwashed. The red pill, to me, tends to mean people that are free thinking, people that choose their path. People that that are uncertain of the path, but they find joy in the path that they take. They're on a growth, on an ascension, on the ascension on their journey. So let me give you some of the pros and cons to the red pill versus blue pills. I believe that people who are we'll start with the blue pill. People that are in the blue pill are people that, adopt this thinking of the blue pill. They tend to be people who are like indoctrinated, brainwashed, people who can't seem to like get out of their own way, people who are like stuck in their ways of thinking. Like these, so to give you an example, these tend to be people who are like too religious or too into education. They're too rigid. They can't think outside the box. And as I spoke with you, if you guys were listening prior to this, I had said that the Jazz Chronicles was going to be all about, it was going to be for the intellectual. It was going to be for people who thought. It was going to be more so geared towards people who thought outside the box. So if you're a blue pill kind of thinker, this podcast is definitely not for you. But yeah, it's people that are like indoctrinated, or people who are brainwashed, people who never question things. They never seem to question their belief system, or never seem to question their reality. They, in fact, it's almost like they seem to denounce reality. Here it is, people who are red pill thinkers, such as myself. I consider myself to be a red pill thinker. And people like myself, we tend to be more free thinking people. And, from what I've read, a person who's a free thinker, they are the types that, we usually have our own mindsets, but when presented with new information, we can change our mind just like that. We can change our mind within a blink of an eye, because we know that there's a good possibility that what's the information that's being told or fed to us is truth. And we're able to change our minds on the spot there. um versus somebody who has who has taken the blue pill. They are, what is it that they're called? There's a term for them. Uh, they are, I forget the term, but it'll come back to me. But they're like, stuck in their ways of thinking. They're like, stuck in quicksand, if you will. Um, let's see, some pros and cons of the red pill and the blue pill. I believe I'll say one con, no, one pro to being a red pill thinker is, there's a sense of adventure in that. It's a sense of adventure in, like, having your own thought or having your own way of thinking of things. Uh, and so I believe that, like, red pill people are also the types of people who do their research on certain things, but then they still come to their own conclusion about what it is that they may have researched. But there's a sense of adventure in being a red pill kind of thinker. There's a sense of adventure. There's just a sense of joy in doing that and being that way, because, like, you're not brainwashed. There's a, I can't remember the guy's name, but uh, he's a Canadian author. I think it's, I forget his name, but he wrote a book called Unlearn. And for I just feel like for myself and people that are like me, the way that you grow in your ascension, in your journey, in your own personal journey, is you have to unlearn all the bullshit that you were brought up to believe. Be it your parents or religion or and I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, like, everything that they taught you was bullshit. That's not what I'm saying here. It's just that you have to learn how to weed through, like, all that you were taught as a kid, as a child, because the problem with that is that what you were taught, I just believe that as you become an adult and you tend to see the world out of your own eyes and not the indoctrinated eyes that your parents or your church or your pastor uh, may have made you see through. When you see things out of your own eyes, you tend to, like, grow in your ascension, and you tend to, like, unlearn all the BS, and then that's when you start to become free. You become free in your thinking, because the the world that you were brought up to believe no longer exists anymore by the time you're an adult. From the time that you were a child and to the time that you become an adult, like, the world that you knew as a child no longer exists, because things are constantly evolving. They're constantly changing. So you have to evolve or change with it, or be prepared to be stuck in quicksand. It's that simple. So I think that's a pro to the red pill thinking. Um, I would say a pro to the blue pill thinking. I believe there is a pro to it. I think of the blue pill way of thinking as mostly a con, mostly in a negative way, because of the stagnant nature that it evolves from. Um, but I would say that a pro of the blue pill thinking is it gives you a sense of, like, traditionalism. If you're if you're a person who is like, as a Black American, I'm not into much tradition. I mean, as an American, we have our traditions here, like like Christmas, or I'm just throwing some holidays and things out there. We have some traditional beliefs, but we're I think as an American society, we're a lot more liberated than a lot of societies, I would say, in the ways that we think. But I would say that a pro to traditionalism is that it gives you a sense of like family. It gives you a sense of togetherness. It gives you a sense of belonging. In the traditional sense, I believe that's the one and only uh, the one and only good thing about the blue pill types of thinking, that as like for people who go to church, they say iron sharpens iron. So when you're around certain like-minded people, it can definitely sharpen you in certain regards. But I just think that most blue pill thinking it's on the negative spectrum for me. Let's see. I would say a con to the red pill thinking is one of the cons that I believe is that you may not end up where you intended to. You may, like, with your with where you're looking to go, or just the way that you think, it may not end up anywhere. That's always a possibility, right? That we may not always end up where we intend to, especially with like the red pill thinking. It's like that way of thinking is more of a freewheeling kind of thinking, a freewheeling kind of thought process that may land you in the middle of nowhere. Like, but you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with, landing with in the middle of nowhere. But you have to be grateful for the ride along, for the journey. A lot of times in life, the people that know me personally, they know that I am a traveling fool. But the thing is, like, people always say, I'm one of the types of people that actually like to I love to travel, but just I love to journey there by, like, usually by taking a train. I think especially like here in the United States, I think that taking the Amtrak train to your destination has a lot of more benefits than just flying somewhere. Like, a lot of my friends have asked me, like, Jazz, how come you just don't fly? And I do fly. I fly a lot. Working in the field research field, I had to fly to many of my destinations, and I've flown a lot, just on personal trips and things like that. But the thing is, it's like when you take the train, there's a sense of relaxation. I'm one of the people that enjoy the journey and not just the destination, if you know what I mean. And I think when you enjoy the journey in life, you're a lot more laid back. You're not as, like, rigid. You're not as like, oh, I gotta get here, I gotta get there. You're more like relaxed, you're more laid back, you're more willing to accept things in the way. You're more willing to accept obstacles or detours, in fact, because you're all about the journey, which everybody knows that when you're all about the journey, there are many things that could come in the journey, and you just have to be, there to be along for the ride. So I believe that's one, pro to being being a red pill thinker is, just, you being able to, you know, uh, go along for the ride along and enjoy the journey. Um, but I would definitely say that a con for that is that you may not end up where you intended to end up. You may just be one of those people who, like I say, you may end up out in the middle of nowhere, with by your freewheeling nature, or just by the freewheeling way that you think about things. So I would say that's definitely a con of the red pill thinking. But I would say a con of the blue pill thinking would be, it's definitely that you're indoctrinated and that you are brainwashed in a sense. Um, you I think of people who are indoctrinated or brainwashed. I think of them as people that are told what to think and not how to think on their own. Because if they had a brain enough to think about, if they had a brain, if they had brains enough to think about how to think on their own, they wouldn't need like a shepherd. They would need somebody to like lead them along in their thinking. They would be able to think on their own 2 feet. They wouldn't need somebody like a preacher, or like a professor, or your mom, your dad. They wouldn't need someone to like lead them constantly. They'd be able to think on their own. I mean, there are decisions that people that are pill blue pill takers. There are everyday life decisions that they can make on their own. But I'm speaking about the things that keep them cemented in the ground. Where like things that keep them from growing on their own ascension. That's what I'm talking about. That's a blue pill. That's the con of the blue pill, is not being able to think on their own merit. Um, so yeah, I definitely think there are definitely pros and cons to the red pill versus blue pill sorts of thinking. And look, I know that I'm just touching on the surface of it all, but these are just like things that I just wanted to come on and touch about the red pill versus blue pill ways of thinking, and the pros and cons of it all. But you heard it here first. It's your boy, the Jazz Master. Say it with me now. 1, 2, 3. The Jazz Master. All right, my peoples. Hey, it's been good talking to y'all today. Good chopping it up with y'all. And until the next one, I will be here. Do me a favor. Like, comment, share. Do what you got to do. It's your boy, the Jazz Master. I love y'all. Peace. Hey. This is from the Jazzolosophy record. Came out in 2015. This track was called Looney Jazz. It had a Looney Tunes insert in the beginning. I just happened to catch the clip end of it, but yeah, this one's called Looney Jazz. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.